Yo, what's up, guys? Really quick promo, really quick. Gonna go through some of these promos so you can see PrizePicks. They have a boosted payout. So basically, if you include Bryce Harper in your slip, hits plus runs plus RBIs, we're gonna get a boosted payout. Let me make sure though the screen is sharing correctly. I know we've had issues with that before. Dang, it looks like we're sharing correctly. So anyways, without further ado, let's quickly go through this Underdog promo, this boosted payout. So I, obviously follow a very data-driven approach to my bets. So if we take a look right here, the first play that looks really good on Underdog is Contreras under 2 hits plus runs plus RBIs. So you can see other fantasy sites like JockMKT, they have his line at 1.5. The other sports books also have his line at 1.5. Right? So, you can see on the sportsbook screen here, you can pull up whatever market you want, but this kind of seems to check out for why the optimizer is recommending it, right? And again, like when we talk about finding value, you got tons of data points, right? All these sports books, Fanatics, that's like a $10 billion company. They have a good model. You want to put weight into all these books' odds. They all have the line at 1.5, Underdog at 2, pretty clear value. And then the next play we can go with is, what we want to do is we want to see, do we want to take Harper's over or under? So if we go here to Bryce Harper, so you actually want to take his under for this promo. So are you serious? They already locked it. Bro. Well, now it looks like they put it back. This is insane. No, it's back. Okay. So anyways, let's move quickly. So Harper, you want to take his under, right? Underdog is an interesting platform because they're going to give us the same payout if we take his over or his under. So obviously we want to take his under if that's what the sports books are telling us is more likely. So if you look here like DraftKings, all these different sports books have his under favored. So that's what we're going to go with, right? So if we just go here to batter props and then you go to hits plus runs plus RBIs, again, it's just DraftKings, whatever it is, like a $14 billion company. We want to see, hey, they have the under favored. So that makes more sense to take on Underdog Fantasy because, that's the more likely outcome. And then what else could we go with? So we have now 2 unders. I want to find a third pick. Ideally, we can find a third pick to go with. So what we can take is Moreno under 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs. Right? So we can just go with this 3-pick entry. Moreno, Contreras, Harper. I know they move lines quickly, so I'll give people a sec to bet it. And then I'm going to take Luzardo over 4.5 strikeouts. This is the PrizePicks taco. Again, I'm just taking advantage of, the easy value on sports books. So lock in this play if you want to before I go ahead and do it. And you can see here, DraftKings has a 25% profit boost on the MLB today. They have a Champions League profit boost. Like, when I first got into sports betting, all I bet was these fucking promos. This is the easiest value you're going to find. The easiest money you're going to make. 25% profit boost. So what we can do is we can just lock this in, right? $10 to win 80. Pretty simple. Are you serious? So it looks like they did move it, which is very annoying. Hopefully some of you got it down. But anyways, whatever. We can switch this to Longoria. And does this check out? So this we wouldn't really want to take on Underdog though, right? It doesn't make sense to take Moreno's under and Longoria's over. Those are probably a little negatively correlated. But you can see we're still getting a 4x payout. So maybe we just play this, as 3 picks. Or we can just add an esports play, whatever. Like, this promo is super good, so we can add in a Valorant play. And then we're getting the 8x payout. And basically anything you bet for this promo can be profitable. You just want to, we're taking Harper because the under is favored. So there we go. We got a little 3-pick entry. 1, 2, 3. 3 picks for today. And again, if you wanted to, you could include Moreno in another slip. This play looks really good. So if you look at all the sports books, right? Like if we look here, Moreno, and we go to the Brewers game and you look at player props, we can see where do they have his line set. So if you look here, right, his under's heavily favored. That checks out, right? Underdog Fantasy, very weird platform, compared to a traditional sports book. Like you look at DraftKings, there's a bunch of numbers, there's a bunch of odds on this website, right? Whereas Underdog Fantasy, there's no odds. It's just you always get fixed payouts. You take the over, you take the under, whatever. You're always getting a 6x payout. So I've gone through the math behind Underdog before, but for anyone new or anyone curious, basically on Underdog Fantasy, you need to win your over-unders, right? You got to be able to hit these over-unders, win your bets, your over-unders, above 55% of the time to be profitable. So like, you can do it and you can get an edge over the books and you can find a bunch of picks winning above 55% of the time. I mean, there's literally, thousands of lines on Underdog Fantasy. Any of them winning above 55% of the time are profitable, but you need an edge, right? Like 55% means you're winning 55% of your over-unders. You're only losing 45%, right? So you need a real advantage. What Underdog is assuming, like their business model on Underdog Fantasy, is they know most people don't have an edge, right? And if you don't have an edge, you don't have an advantage, you're going to win these over-unders, you're going to win your picks 50% of the time. You're going to win 50%, lose 50%. That's having no advantage, right? And then your ROI on Underdog will be negative 25%. So it's very simple. I'm just looking for plays winning, above 55% of the time. So all those plays are in green, but of course they pulled the fucking line on Contreras in my face, although that was a really good play. So next we can go over to PrizePicks, right? Trying to keep this a little tighter. So here we got PrizePicks, right? They're giving us a discount on Luzardo. They're bringing his line from 5.5 to 4.5 strikeouts. So if you take a look here, it may not seem like one strikeout is a big deal, but it is, right? So if you look here, right, Luzardo over 4.5 strikeouts, that's the same as 5+. Some of these books, like, they label it in different ways, but you can see his 4.5 strikeout line over 4.5 or 5+ is minus 310 on FanDuel, right? His over 5.5 or his 6+ is only minus 136. So that's a huge jump in the odds, right? So long story short, like one strikeout's a big deal. So what we can do, damn, there's not jack shit on PrizePicks right now. But what we can do, I mean, I locked in some of these plays earlier. Well, fuck, they already moved Tua's line. So you can see I had Tua over 270 half. It looks like they already moved it. But what I do think is a good pick is Brian Robinson's under. And again, a lot of people, we've hit a lot of these touchdown bets. My assumption is PrizePicks knows the under is profitable, but all their Square customers, like, it's very rare to see someone bet unders for anytime touchdown scores. But I mean, if you take a look at the data, right? So like, again, I follow a very data-driven approach. The data never lies long-term. So not saying this play is a lock, but if you look at, his odds to go under, like, he's a big favorite to not score a touchdown. So this is Fliff. They have him minus 160. So, like, what we can do is we can go back here. Damn. So you can see they bumped this line already up to 3, too. They're bumping everything like crazy. So we can go here to total touchdowns, and we can kind of take a look. I can kind of show you. And again, like, there's a lot of promos on FanDuel as well. But if we just take a look at, what the fuck am I doing? So if we just take a look at, if we just take a look at the odds, kind of on the sportsbook screen, you'll see it's not just Fliff, right? Every sportsbook has his under heavily favored. Barstool minus 150. Let me make sure the screen isn't frozen. What up, guys? Anyways, bro, shut the fuck up, Sniff Cliff. Dude, I hate some of these people. Anyways, let's go back here. So you can see minus 150, right? And what you will notice is Betano, like a lot of sports books, they don't even give you odds on the under, right? And again, I know some people know this, but like there's always new people. So just trying to explain the logic behind the bets, right? You can see on Betano, they have him plus 115 to score a touchdown, which is an underdog price, right? You're getting plus money, so he's an underdog to score. But you can see they don't have odds on an under. But you can kind of assume it would probably be like, Fliff, minus 160, minus 150, something like that. So we can take Robinson's under. And is there really just no more value? I mean, again, like, we can venture down a bit. It kind of sucks that there's just, PrizePicks doesn't have a ton of MLB lines up for today. But if we take a look here at these other players, like we can just venture down a bit. With this promo, we already have 2 really good picks. And again, you want to go with 5 pick entries on PrizePicks. So if we pull up the math behind PrizePicks and we take a look right here, you'll see like for 5 pick flex plays, you have to win 54.25% of your plays to be profitable. DJ Moore, over 3.5 receptions. So let's take a look at this play. Let's go back to the NFL. So we're getting some early Thursday Night Football picks. Again, not really much value, but still a play that's decent. Because again, if you look at all the sports books, Caesars has a -148 to go over, DraftKings -140. Again, PrizePicks is going to give you the same payout if you take his over or you take his under. So obviously you want to take his over because all the books have him heavily favored to go over. And again, so many people will be like, oh, I think I'm smarter than the market. It's again, you're not going to create a better model than DraftKings, which is a $10 billion company. They have more resources, more engineers, better data feeds. Just not going to happen. But anyways, and you can see here it's an arbitrage bet to Hot Streak as well. If you wanted to hedge a little, you get the +124 on Hot Streak. So it's okay, now we have 3 picks. What do we want to go with? So sportsbooks haven't dropped lines yet for for the Sunday games, but my gut tells me Mixon's going to be pretty good. Every single game this season, he's been a big underdog to score. Again, my assumption is PrizePicks leaves these lines up because they know all the recreational customers take the over, so you want to be on the under. So Mixon, Henry in general, Justin Jefferson too, are favored to not score. Justin Jefferson against Kansas City too, so maybe we want to go with one of these picks, but again, I'm kind of assuming the lines are going to be similar to what they were the first few games of the season. So let's refresh this. Anything new? Anything new for us? Damn. So anyways, we can go back here. We can see if there's any plays on Fliff as well. Some early value in the Sam Houston State game. Right, you can see right here, right, when you're betting on traditional sports books, it's very different, right? You just want to find value in the odds. So FanDuel is pricing this line at -110. Again, you have tons of data points telling you where a line's going to be set. So we can go back here and we can lock this in on Fliff. Might as well get in some value on Fliff, and then we'll find a final play on PrizePicks. Just thinking about where we can look, where we can find something to bet. So let's go here to Sam Houston State, and let's take them +18.5, +105, right? And again, a lot of people will ask should I wait till closer to game time to place my bets? But you got to remember, the line may move, value will go away. So if there's a good line, you probably want to bet it now. So you can see this play on the positive EV tool. And again, there's hundreds of sports books out there. I don't know what books are legal in your location. So I'm just showing you what, I'm betting on, what I can bet on. Florida Atlantic, damn. So we got some college football bets. I'll have to head over to Caesars after this live stream, place some bets as well. But anyways, without further ado, let's find one more pick on PrizePicks that we can go with. Also, this play pairs pretty nicely with Brian Robinson. Maybe a little bit of positive correlation. If the Bears have possession longer in the game, DJ Moore's more likely to go over and Brian Robinson's more likely to go under. Maybe a little bit of correlation. What's the payout shift for? So there is no payout shift, but anyways, is there anything else on PrizePicks we want to go with? So you can see they bumped up the solar line to 3, and now OddsJam is recommending the under. We already have them over 2.5. So again, 2.5 versus 3 is a big difference, but I don't really want to hedge. It's kind of it's a different fucking bet, right? 2.5 versus 3 is a different bet. Over 2.5 may be a little good. Under 3 may be a little good. But I don't really want to take, an opposite line on this play. So maybe we just assume odds are going to be similar to last week, and I'll just lock this in. PrizePicks, they hit me with pretty rough betting limits. $25 max, $5 max for Taco Tuesday, so I'm just going to lock it in. My assumption is the mix and play will be pretty good. Then we can head over to ParlayPlay. More books, the better. And we can see like, okay, like any plays available here. And you can see there are some early plays that we could possibly go with. So if we go ahead and we look at receiving yards. So what's cool about ParlayPlay is you can basically, create your own Taco Tuesday every day. So they let you bump a player in whatever direction you want, So you can see here, like Gaussman, if you like his under, you can bump his under to under 7.5 as opposed to under 7. But anyways, what are they recommending on this player receiving yards play? So we can go back here and we can go to Mooney. So if we look at Mooney, it's like, okay, ParlayPlay has the line a bit higher than the rest of the market. Maybe some value there, but let's go back here. Any other plays we want to lock in on Fliff? Damn. So here's another one, minus 105. You can see all the books are ripping odds lower in this game. FanDuel has moved from minus 110 to minus 120. These books are always moving around lines, right? Based on where action's coming in, weather changes, lineup changes. Like everyone, you hear people say like, oh, I hit the under because it's going to be snowing in a game. It's already priced into the market. Like these books are always moving around lines based on where action's coming in. So maybe we go ahead here and we can go here. We can get an early little college football sweat on Fliff. So let's go here and let's pull it up. We want the under 49.5 at minus 105 odds. And then we can go back to ParlayPlay, see if there's anything we want to jump on. So you can see this is pretty stupid a Fliff, right? They're giving you the same odds on the under 49 and the under 49.5. So obviously under 49.5 is a better bet. If there's 7 touchdowns in the game, under 49 would push, under 49.5 will cash. So it seems like their model is just kind of screwing up because they jumped this line. Like they have the same line on 49 and 49.5, and then for 50 they jump it to minus 135. So it seems like they're screwing up, and this should be like minus 120, somewhere in the middle of minus 105 and minus 135. But I guess their model screwing up. So again, all the positive EV tool is doing is really just scanning all these lines. There's millions of odds across sports books, and you're just looking for those few spots of gold. Those few spots where a sportsbook is really screwing up and you can actually find a play with an edge. So let's go back here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Some plays on WinBet, but we can go back here. So one thing to consider though is, if we wanted to take, we can see if FanDuel has up player prop lines yet for the NFL. If they have player prop lines up in their same game parlay. So they don't yet. So I'm not really sure the correlation of DJ Moore over 3.5 receptions and Mooney under 33.5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll kind of skip that over. Again, if you want to do these, if you use DraftKings, I try to focus on the main books in these live streams. So if we go here, right, what we can do is we can pull up DraftKings and then we can pull up the MLB. Is I just try to find a halfway decent line. For these promos, like a 25% profit boost is ridiculous, So if you go here, it's like, okay, what's a good play we could go with? Well, the Twins, minus 1.5 at plus 180, that's best offered on DraftKings, plus 180. So with the profit boost, you're getting 180 times 1.25. You're going to be getting the Twins minus 1.5 at plus 225 odds, right? You can see Bookmaker has the Blue Jays plus 1.5 at minus 190. So what you could do is you could even arbitrage bet this. When I started sports betting, I just took all these promos. I'd hedge them on another sports book to guarantee a profit. So, right, you can see here, right, the Twins minus 1.5. We'd be getting, plus 225 on DraftKings. It's probably like a $25 max bet size, but you can see Bookmaker has minus 190 on, the opposite outcome, which is the Blue Jays plus 1.5. So it's kind of like, buying a stock, for $190 and then you immediately sell it at $225. So you can kind of go through the math if you want to hedge these promos, so you can do something like this. So there's really two options here, right? If the Twins win by 2+ runs and we use our DraftKings boost on this, we're going to be getting plus 225. So what we can do is we can hedge on another sports book. You can see a bunch of books, Circa, whatever. It kind of depends on where you're located. You're going to be getting minus 190 on the opposite outcome, Blue Jays plus 1.5. These are equal and opposite outcomes. And then you can just kind of like figure out what your profit will be. And I used to do this with every promo. I mean, you can do it with every promo. These Champion Leagues promos, these Profit Boost promos, you can turn them all into risk-free cash. So if you take a look here, right, if we just go to this little calculator, we're getting plus 225 on the Twins minus 1.5. What am I doing? Plus 225 minus 190. So if DraftKings has a max bet size of $25, and it's not glamorous, but you're just making a risk-free $3 by hedging this promo, assuming it's a $25 max bet size. I know some people get 50, right? So if your max bet size is 50, then, it's going to be a risk-free profit of 603. I know DraftKings has different betting limits for people. So you can see here it's 106 is what the calculator is telling us to hedge on Circa. So we could hedge for 106. You can always round to 105. I mean, I always recommend rounding your numbers to the nearest, whole number, just so you don't look super weird and sketch out the sports book. So if you hit it for 105 or something like that, you can kind of calculate your profit. So if the Twins win by 2+ runs, on DraftKings we're up 50 times 2.25, right? We bet $50 at plus 225 odds. We're up $113. And then on Circa, we're down $105. So that's $8 in profit. Now, on the other hand, if they don't win by 2+ runs, we lose on DraftKings $50, but on Circa, we're up 105 times 100 over 190, $55. You converted this promo into a risk-free profit of $8 or $5 just by using a little arbitrage calculator and finding a halfway decent line on DraftKings. And you could do that for this other promo too. You can see they have, a nerfy boost, stuff like that. But let's see if there's any other plays on Fliff that we want to go with. If not, we'll call it a day. So it doesn't look like there's a ton of other value. Again, I know some people know some of this stuff, so I apologize if anything you've heard before, but there's always new people on these live streams, so try to explain the strategy why I'm betting what I'm betting. So here's what we have for the Underdog promo. Here's what we got for Taco Tuesday. And yeah, thanks so much for tuning in.